All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all honor and glory to the Most High God Yahweh in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Welcome back, brothers, to what's my wife has so pointed out, our weekly Friday night class. For brothers that can't make camp on Saturday, or if you want to, join the class and be edified. So today's class is going to be titled "Why We Don't Celebrate Birthdays," right? Why we don't celebrate birthdays, and we see a lot of we've seen a couple congregations, and we said their names off the recording, but on the recording, we won't say because it's, it's messy and it's really not like we were talking, me and the brother Ashar and a couple of us, it's really, certain things are based off tradition, certain things actually go into the law. So we're going to go into these scriptures and show you why we don't why we don't celebrate birthdays. Even a little known fact that our beloved brother soldier, first class Yalad Napash, was saying, we always bring it out too, is that it's the highest of holy days in the satanic religion is your birthday. We can even let me look up the quote by Aleister Crowley. So I'll put it up there. I'm pretty sure it was by Aleister Crowley. I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Uh, Birthdays. I don't know how to spell the guy's name, nor do I care to. That's why there's autocorrect. Let me see. It's really young, I'm trying to find. It was Aleister Crowley wrote a birthday poem. A birthday poem by Aleister Crowley. Gee, this is wickedness.
When it comes to citing sources, details matter. Introducing Grammarly's citations features.
Forgive me, brothers. I did not know I was gonna do that. Let me see. This wicked man wrote a whole. You sent your spirit into my tunes, my soul, hearing in thousand melodies. He wrote a poem for birthdays. Let me see. I'm trying to find that quote there. I'm trying to find that quote by him. Let me see if I can find it. If not, I'm gonna cut this out. But Book of Lies, sacred text, the Book of Lies, which is also falsely or falsification of one thought, fate, or perturb Thelmic. Well, Thelmic Holy Days, Star of Babylon, Oasis, Thelmic Holy Days. Oh, this is crazy. I'm gonna keep this on here to screen record this later so you guys can see it. But Thelmic Holy Days, the official days of Thelma are set forth in the Book of Law, chapter 2, verses 36 to 41. The specific dates attributed to them are given in Crowley's commentaries and summarized below. So they give you, so the Book of Thelma has the Satanic Bible has a Book of Lies, right? The rituals of enlightenment and the Feast of Times are observed at equinoxes and solstice. The Feast of First Night of the Prophet and his bride is observed August 12th. The feast of 3 days of the writing book of law is observed April 8th, 9th, and 10th, beginning at noon on each day. The supreme ritual, the invocation of Horus, is March 20th and represents the opening of the Thelmic New Year. The feast of the equinox of the gods is held vernal equinox each year, commenting the founding of the Thelma in 1904. 3 points of passage. Let me see. Various other events in the career of the agnostic, other holidays are sometimes recognized as holidays. His birth on October 12th is Crowley Mass, an occasion often celebrated with comical rites. 18th of November was the date of his first initiation and is therefore perduble. his annihilation, or the intimate of the mastery of the temple, was December 3rd. The general feast in the honor to the Megatheron should be an anniversary of his death, December 1st. So they definitely celebrate his birthday. Some Thelemites celebrate the midpoints between equinoxes and solstice and other seasonal festivals, replacing the old pagan and Christian denominations for those dates. See, so Christianity is based on this. Religion is based on Christianity. February 2nd, formerly Imbolc and Chaldemas, is the feast of the stars, and in the sun of Aquarius, May 1st, from Beltane and Rudmas, is the feast of the cattle. In the sun, Taurus, August 1st, formerly Lagadesh and Lamas, is the feast of the lion serpent with the sun in Leo. And October 31st, Sahayim and Halamas is the feast of dragon with the sun in Scorpio. So these people celebrate. Let me see. We're looking. What the hell? Oh, okay. Frequently, what holidays do Satanists celebrate? Oh, here we go. This is from the churchofsatan.com. What holidays do Satanists celebrate? Since Satanism is a self-centered religion, and the highest holiday of the year would be the Satanist's own birthday, which needs no ritual but should be spent doing things a Satanist would enjoy. There is no requirement that the Satanists celebrate any holidays, and there are no hard and fast traditions or rites associated with them. Since Satanism embraces nature, the other holidays a Satanist might choose to celebrate would be seasonal turning points, marked by the equinoxes and the solstice. So basically, when somebody's talking about this, the universe did this, the universe did that, they're Satanists, right? But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna highlight, and then this will be in the video. We'll highlight where we go over what it says at the beginning. The question: What holidays do Satanists celebrate? Since Satanism is a self-centered religion, the highest holy day of the year would be the Satanist's own birthday, right? So there's one there we go. So we're gonna start off with that point, right? This out of the churchofsatan.com, the highest of the holy days for a Satanist is one's own birthday. But there's more, right? So let's go into Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 3. We're going to start off with the law, right? The book of Leviticus chapter 18, and we're going to start at verse 1. And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your power. Verse 3, After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. Shall ye not do? Shall ye not do? And after the things of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances, right? So what is an ordinance? We're going to go again back to we're going to first read again what I just read as far as what it says, right? Churchofsatan.com frequently asked questions - holidays. What holidays do Satanists celebrate? Answer: Since Satanism is a self-centered religion, the highest holy day of the year would be Satanist's own birthday, right? And then they tell you, we'll go on to read, which needs no ritual, but should be spent in doing a Satanist would enjoy. There is no requirement that a Satanist celebrate any holidays. There are no hard or fast traditions or rites associated with them. Since Satanism embraces nature, the other holidays a Satanist might choose to celebrate would be seasonal turning points, marked by equinoxes and solstices, the dates of which vary from year to year. So that we use nature, we pray to the earth, Mother Earth, all that, you know what I'm saying? The universe is dealing with this, all that voodoo, all that madness is, you know what I'm saying, goes back to Satanism, right? Because they practice the same things. They tell you they love nature and, for earth and all that, but clearly Satanism is practicing the same things, right? Since Satanism embraces nature, the other holidays a Satanist might choose to celebrate would be the seasonal turning points, marked by the equinoxes and the solstices, the dates of which vary from year to year, as well as the midpoints between these would be recognized as climaxes of each season. In particular, April 30th, called Walpurgis something really German, a Walpurgisnacht, The spring climax and the anniversary of the founding of the Church of Satan is generally noted. Um, that's the day, right? Halloween, October 31st, is the fall climax and may be celebrated as time when one's inner self might be explored through the use of a costume, or might recall those of importance in one's life who have died, as we've done on the night in European tradition, right? Right. So this is in European tradition. Boom. So we see. So we go. It goes speak not into the. You know what I'm saying. So now we see it's a European tradition. We're told not to follow these ways, right? First the Egyptian and then the Canaanite, right? Well, let's go to those examples first. What are your options? I got to see this. Salakia brethren. Oh, look. From the Satanic Bible. This is a Thawada Sergeant Jerusalem. From the Satanic Bible and birthdays, idolatry of self-esteem, the highest of Satan's holy days or holidays, right? The highest of the holidays in the Satanic religion is the date of one's own birthday. This is in direct contradiction of the holy of holy days of other religions, which deify a particular God who has been created in an anthropomorphic form of their own image. Right? That's another thing. Understand that we said that they would do it in the anthropomorphic image of their own image, but we're forced to celebrate, or we're so forced to worship a God that don't look nothing like us, right? But let's go back, right? The Water Sergeant Jerusalem for that tidbit, right? We'll keep reading in it, right? There is an affinity of such commemoration among the wicked as recorded in the Satanic Bible. Let me see. Let me start from the top. After the title of the Satanic Bible and birthdays, the idolatry of self-esteem, the highest of Satan's holy days and holidays, does not necessarily endorse anything outside of the beyond of testimony against the pagan practice of birthdays, keeping in and from any of information or sources quoted in this blog. There is an affinity of such commemoration among the wicked as recorded in the Satanic Bible. Anton LaVey, Book of Lucifer, The Enlightenment, Avon Books, 1969, Chapter 10, Religious Holidays, regarding page 96, regarding birthdays. The highest of all holidays in the Satanic religion is the date of one's own birthday. This is in direct contradiction of the holy of holy days of other religions, which deify a particular God who has been created in an anthropomorphic form in their own image, thereby showing that the ego is not really buried. The Satanist feels, why not really be honest? And if you and if you are going to create a God in your own image, why not create the God as yourself? Every man is a god if he chooses to recognize himself as one. False. The children of Israel are gods on this earth. Psalms 82 and 6. Right? After all, aren't you happier about the fact that you were born than you were about the birth of someone you have never even met? So look at that, right? So they're telling you, they're basically shit, for lack of a better term, shitting on Christianity, right? But anyways, because we don't celebrate birthdays at all, as we can see, right? So celebrating the birth of Christ, as they say, is not something that is found in the scripture, but more so found in the Satanic Bible, right? Because you're celebrating a birthday. But let's go back. Leviticus, we'll read Leviticus 18, 1 through 3 again, right? With this in mind now, right? This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 from the top. And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh, your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, Salakia, whither I bring you, shall ye not do neither or walk in their ordinances, right? So we're not to walk in their ordinances, right? And right now we see in Canaan, and we see in Egypt. So let's focus on Egypt. Let's go to the book of let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 4 and verse 20, right? 40. Let's go to Genesis chapter 40 and verse 20, right? So we can see what it is that we're talking about, right? Listen. let's go to Genesis chapter 40, verse 20, and we'll see Salakia. So we're going to go now, right? Let's read the definition of Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh, definition, is as a divine ruler. The Pharaoh was the preserver of God-given order called Ma'at. He owned a large portion of Egypt's land. Salakia, let's read the whole thing. Pharaoh, by definition, right? Britannica.com. Egyptian king, Pharaoh, from Egyptian per great house. Originally, the royal palace in ancient Egypt, right, where we were enslaved. The word came to be used metaphorically for the Egyptian king under the new kingdom, right? So it's basically say it's an Egyptian king, right? So now let's go to Genesis chapter 40 and verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday. Pharaoh, again, is the king of Egypt, right? He's an Egyptian. Came to pass, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among the servants, right? So for those that don't know, Joseph prophesied of something that would happen to the chief baker and the chief butler, right? And this came to pass on his birthday, as we can see, right? As we read it, these things happen on his birthday. What? In a tradition that is belonging to the Egyptians, right? We'll even read it again. Genesis chapter 40, verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, which he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. So we've seen in Leviticus that it said, follow not the way of the Egyptian, right? But then we say, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, we go back right here, right? We'll go back to the churchofsatan.com where it says, where it talks about, since Satanism is a self-centered religion, the highest holy day of the year would be one's own birthday, right? And then we skip down to the bottom of the paragraph, or one might recall of those importance in one's life who might have died, as was done in the night in European traditions, right? And it's talking about Halloween, but we see that birthdays are included in this, right? And this was a European tradition. Well, if I'm not no cartographer, I've been reading a little about them. I'm no geographer, but I did pay attention a little. And Rome is in Italy, and Italy is in Europe. And those Romans were Europeans, right? So let's go into the book. Matter of fact, no, let's go into the book of Jeremiah chapter 10, right, in verse 1. Let's go to Jeremiah 10 and 1, because it said, you know what I'm saying, it's in European tradition, right? Keep it in European tradition. Well, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 10 and 1, which we always read and use rightfully so on Christmas, right? But there's something here that we can use for this particular thing, right? So let's go to Genesis chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word of Yahweh spoken unto you, O house of Israel. Thus says Yahweh our Father. Learn not the way of the heathen. Learn not the way of the heathen. Let's go, and now that we've seen what a definition of a heathen is, let's go into the definition, right? Heathen, from Merriam-Webster.com. Heathen, plural, or heathens, a person who does not know about or worship the God of the Bible, an uncivilized person, aka who doesn't worship the God of the Bible? The Gentiles, right? Look at these. What makes a person a heathen? Heathen, if you do not believe in it, a heathen is a person that, in context, even here we can use it, right? In old use is proving offensive. A person who has no religion, a person who belongs to a religion that is not Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, the heathen, right? They try to say the heathen. What Hebrew word? What is the Hebrew meaning of heathen? The term heathen is an early interpretation of the Hebrew word goyim. In the Old Testament, the word goyim or gawayam in the Paleo actually means nations. So what does it say? Follow not the way of the nations, right? So now, how are we following the ways of the nations, right? We see that it's a European custom, right? as far as some of the things mentioned that go along with the birthday, right? So let's go first, let's go into Matthew chapter 14, verse 6, and we're going to read it in a couple different translations, right? Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 in the King James, right? Matthew chapter 14 and verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, Herod was an Edomite, right? So when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before him, and this pleased Herod. You know what I'm saying? So they were having a birthday party for him, right? Let's go read it in the NLT, right? Let's read it. What the hell is it? Let's read it in the NLT, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 in the New Living Translation, right? Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 in the New Living Translation. Let's see what they were doing on that day, right? Because I know brother's going to want to. Oh, 14, verse 6. But at a Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 in the New Living Translation. But at a birthday party for Herod, Herodias' daughter performed a dance that generally pleased him. Right? So let's see if it gets any better in the Good News Translation, right? Let's go to the Good News Bible, Matthew chapter 14, 14 verse 6, right? Let's go into the Good News Bible. Oh, bigger Good News Bible right there. Let's read what it says there. The book of Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 in the Good News Translation. Oh, second Ezra. Ooh, no, not that one. Love second Ezra, but we need a different lesson right now. Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 in the Good News Bible. On Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herodias danced in front of the whole group, and Herod was so pleased. Right? So we see that Herod was pleased, you know what I'm saying, with her giving him a little dance, so to speak. You know what I mean? Give him a little dance. So we see the celebration, right? So we're told not to keep these days, right? But let's go into the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 4 in the Living Translation. The Living Translation, not the New Living, but the Living Translation. This is Job chapter 1, verse 4 in the Living Translation. Every year, when each of Job's sons had a birthday, he invited his brothers and sisters to his home for a celebration. On these occasions, they would eat and drink, with great merriment. Let's read verse 5 and see, so we can establish, right? Because we see a birthday party, they're having a good time. That's all it says, right? If we stop right there, anybody could be like, whoa, it doesn't say nothing bad. Let's keep going. Verse 5. When these birthday parties ended, and sometimes they lasted several days, Job would summon his children to him and sanctify them, getting up for each of them. For Job said, perhaps my sons have sinned and turned away from God in their hearts. This was Job's regular practice, right? So every birthday, he was up there, you know what I'm saying? He was up there trying to sacrifice to the Most High because he's like, my children have sinned, right? So let's go into Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 14 to finish this lesson out, right? Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 14, so we can finish these lessons out. Let me see, 12. Let me see. Let's see how Jeremiah felt about his birthday. This is Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 14 in the Living Translation. Yet, cursed be the day that I was born. Yet, cursed be the day that I was born. Cursed be the man who brought my father the news that a son was born. Let the old messengers be destroyed like the cities of old, which God overthrew without mercy. Terrify him all day long with battle shouts. You know what I'm saying? Because he did not kill me at birth. It's so terrible day that we don't even celebrate it. We curse that day. We're under these curses. Oh, that I had died within my mother's womb, that I had been in my grave. Why was I ever born? for my life has been but trouble and sorrow and shame. Right? Even when we read it in different translations, right? Let's see. In the Good News Bible, right? So we can finish out, right? Let's read it in the Good News Bible. Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 14, right? In the Good News translation, right? I'm hungry now. Once we wrap up, because I gotta eat, brethren. Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 14 in the Good News Bible. Curse the day that I was born. Forget the day my mother gave birth. Curse the man who made my father glad when he brought him the news. It's a boy. You have a son. May he be like those cities that the Lord destroyed without mercy. May he hear the cries of pain in the morning and the battle alarm at noon, because he didn't kill me before I was born. Then my mother's womb would have been my grave. Why was I born? Was it only to have trouble and sorrow and to end my life in disgrace? So we see, right, now we know the prophet Jeremiah went on to do very great things, right? For those that know, like they say, if you know, you know type deal, right? If you know, you know, right? But that brings an end to our lesson. If brothers got questions that are listening to the recording after the fact, again, text the number in the description. We do not answer that phone number, so text the number in the description. You can email us, or if you so choose, you can leave your question in the comment section, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. For the brothers in the chat, I'll be taking your questions right now when the recording is over, when I end the recording. But with that, we'd like to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, YHWH, in the name of His only begotten Son, YHWH, and we say Shalom.